Man, expect one of these videos at least every other day or every day, man. We got another David related video. Shout out to Trap Ross for the video. Celeste autopsy results are horrific. He kept her fingers. What? Bro, you kept her fingers? You kept her fingers? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This man David genuinely is Joe Goldberg from You. Like, that's exactly, like, bro, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that he had watched the whole series of You, bro. I promise you he did. He took all type of inspiration from him. This ain't nothing to be joking about, but, like, bro, like, you got a lot of tendencies from Joe Goldberg, bro. You feel me? Listen, bro, if any of this stuff is true, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've said it. If you've been keeping up with my channel for, like, over a year now or even two, like, I've said I don't really wish death penalty on nobody because I'm not God. I can't wish death on nobody, bro. But man, man, it's a huge candidate for me. It's a huge candidate for me, bro. Because, dude, you showed her no mercy. All because she was threatening to expose your ass. Your weird freak ass, bro. Your weird freak ass, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This man Diddy was doing the same shit you was doing. Fucking with underage people, bro. Getting them drunk and then doing the craziest things to them, bro. But he ain't killed none of them, bro. At least he ain't killed none of them. Like, wild, bro. We gonna check this out, man. If you new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. I will be bouncing around different YouTubers. Pause. Pause if needed. I will be going to different YouTubers' videos because I seen Cupboy. He didn't drop a video on this related yet. This video just dropped 2 hours ago, so I had to check it out, man. Let's see what this thing talking about, man.
Folks, I've just got some breaking news. I've literally just seen this. This has just dropped, and this is absolutely huge. Apparently, the medical examiner has actually now released the results of the Celeste autopsy officially, and apparently she was killed by 2 penetrating wounds. So we'd seen previous articles and reporting that essentially she'd been killed by a sharp instrument. As it says over here, DA says that David murdered Celeste with a sharp instrument. We were wondering whether this was a stabbing, whether this was the penknife or the flick knife, one of these bad boys that he apparently was showing off on Twitch and other places in the lead up to the murder.
Showing it off.
But now it's official. They're saying she was killed by 2 penetrating wounds. We've actually got some information from the autopsy here. So TMZ, as always, seems to be reporting this first. It says Celeste Rivas' cause of death has been revealed, and the medical examiner in LA says she was killed by multiple penetrating injuries with unspecified objects. We don't know exactly what objects, but she was penetrated with a sharp instrument. I'm not going to make the joke that you're probably thinking, but there were a lot of really bad things going on with her and David before she passed away, and that's why the death has been ruled a homicide. So it says the medical examiner says there's 2 penetrating wounds of the torso with smooth edges that may represent sharp force injuries. The wound, 3/4 of an inch length and 1.5 inches deep on the upper abdomen, penetrates the liver, and the wound on the left chest, 9/16 of an inch in length and 2 inches deep, bro, into coastal spaces with disruption of the adjacent ribs and cortical surfaces.
And hey, bro, did anybody else see that video of David cleaning her shoes, bro? Her shoes? This nigga, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, David, you have to be one of the dumbest killers of the century, bro. I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, you murdered somebody and it was like still like making it obvious like that person was even in your life. Like, you gonna murder this little girl and then post a TikTok of you cleaning her shoes? How disgusting do you have to be, bro? How disgusting.
So this is the official autopsy results. It says decedent Rivas Hernandez Celeste Abigar, and as I just explained to you, these are the wounds. So these are where she was stabbed with a blunt instrument. It looks like a knife. This looks like a knife wound to me. Could easily be one of these sort of knives that David was seen with.
Definitely was probably one of those, man.
So basically this is just breaking that down and explaining that there was injuries, multiple defects over here on the lower right, sort of the upper right back. There's multiple linear abrasions on the hands. So there was slices to the hands, slices to the fingers. They pointed out that's where the shush tattoo was on her finger. The skull, it says partially skeletonized. What does that say? Globe not present. Can't quite see what that says, but it says something with the eye. I think it says lips intact. Don't see what that says. Something present. It says there's a defect here, 6 inch at the top of the shoulder. So yeah, as you can see, it appears to be some kind of abrasion. I believe this is actually where the severs were made, these lines. So it appears that the arms and legs were cut here at these points. So one leg cut a little bit shorter than the other.
Bro, what? This nigga was just cutting her up? Like, you was just, bro. Because the nasty part about all of this is just like, you was doing this probably after she was already gone. So you just started cutting her up, bro. How sick do you have to be? How sick? Like, why did she even have cuts on her legs? Why? Bro, this...
Like, these are areas with, like, strong bones. So I think it seems like some kind of industrial tools would have been needed to make these sort of severances. That's just my opinion. Okay, I don't know. I'm no mortician. But it's interesting. So there's also some other things. It says it's interesting the medical examiner uses the word may, which is the defense, something they might jump on. The medical examiner also says her left ring and pinky fingers were amputated, but the body diagram shows her right pointer finger with the shush tattoo was intact. This will also be an interesting issue at trial because the autopsy report says there is a presumptive positive for methamphetamine and MDMA, but there was another screening that says methamphetamine was not inclusive and MDMA was not detective. So the report says Celeste may have had alcohol in her system, but it did not contribute to her death. So the stab wounds are obviously the reason.
This nigga is crazy, bro.
She was dosed up with some MDMA or meth or whatever you want to call it. It's crazy. It says the body was badly decomposed. The head was partially skeletonized with an absent left eye. That's really dark. And I wonder whether that was
stupid dark.
Bruh, I don't even imagine what's going on with that.
No, for real.
Body bag and a black trash bag containing David's Tesla.
Like, how demonic do you have to be to do some shit like this, bro? Like, how demonic, bro? How? It's just so crazy because this dude was famous, like real famous too. Like, a lot of kids know about this man, bro. Did they say this dude had like his own skin or dance or whatever the case, song in Fortnite and all that? Like, bro.
He did kind of a long breakdown of what was going on. So let's have a little glance at this before I bring you some more reactions.
We just received the autopsy report from the medical examiner in Celeste Rivas's death, for which David is now charged with her murder. And there are some interesting things, and we talked about this before, that we knew that the coroner had ruled this, the medical examiner ruled this a homicide, but we didn't know the cause of death. And the DA said they were stabbed, there was some kind of sharp instrument was used. Now we know, and what they're saying is there were two wounds in particular, and that they believe, they use the word may, and the word may is going to be really important, which we'll talk about.
Right.
But they may be penetrating wounds, which would not be wounds to dismember a body.
Right, because of where they are, they believe, is I think the main, and also
and the way they describe it is they describe two penetrating wounds, one on the abdomen and one on the chest, and they describe them as, they tell you the depth and the length of these, and they say they have smooth edges. Indication seems to me that some sort of knife was plunged into her, and it left smooth edges.
The key is the length of the wounds. One is 3/4 of an inch, one is 9/16. So this size wound as the penetrative wound. These are
which
not
is an indication of the length of the blade.
I can't even imagine how this dude like decided to like how he got her over there. Probably made her seem like everything was okay. And out of nowhere, like I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of shows. Like I said, even watching a show like you, like the way Joe Goldberg went about like killing some of the females, bro. He made it seem like nothing was gonna happen. All of a sudden, you're dead. You feel me? Or like that's why I said you, bro. Because how many times this man Joe Goldberg would kill when he knew you were about to expose him? That's pretty much what David just did, bro. That's pretty much what he just did, bro. Like I'm just, it sucks. I'm trying to even imagine how he did that, bro. He probably asked her for a hug or something out of nowhere. Just start killing her. It's just like, wow, bro.
Also, a blade that could not dismember a body, right? This would not be the same instrument used to dismember the body.
Now, the body was dismembered. They describe all that in detail, but those types of cuts to take the body apart would be different than
does the report say anything about the dismemberment or what they believe was used?
They don't say what was used.
No, it does describe it in a lot of detail.
It's gruesome.
Yeah.
So there's a word that's used, may, that it may have been caused by this. The defense is going to jump on that.
Oh, they'll
because they're not saying it's conclusive, and it aligns with what we've been hearing, which is they were having a really hard time determining how she died.
As recently as February.
As recently as February.
Yeah.
The passage of time to determine this is a long. It's many, many months.
There's also, and it's conflicting, and we still can't quite figure it out, but there are references to finding presumptive positive indications that she had both meth and MDMA in her system.
Although additional screens showed that to be not detected, but the initial screens said
It
presumptive.
seems like there were two tests taken, two tox screens. The initial one detected MDMA and methamphetamine.
Bro, as a 13-year-old having meth and MDMA in your system is crazy, bro. That's wild, bro. I'm trying, bro. And when I was 13, bro, like, bro, I didn't even really know what drugs were, bro. I'm trying to even remember at that time. When I was 13, what grade are you in? That's like 8th grade, right? That's like, that's like 7th grade. Either 6th or 7th grade. Bro, yeah, nigga didn't even know what drugs were for real. Like, I know a lot of people probably that's when they started smoking weed and stuff like that, bro. I didn't even touch weed until I was about 18 years old, bro. Like,
But
confirmation test, and it was unclear whether there was MDMA, but methamphetamine, but no sign of MDMA at the second confirmation test.
I mean, ultimately, is that going to matter when you get to trial, like whether or not she was
probably
on
not.
any drugs?
Well, they may argue it was an overdose. I don't know what they're going to argue, but they'll latch onto it.
Can't argue no overdose when you got stab wounds.
Case. The coroner was on the stand for 8 days in that case. So this is going to be the centerpiece of the case, because what the DA is saying is we have evidence she threatened David that she would expose their relationship, probably in a text. That's the way they make it seem, and that she goes to David's house on April 23rd, 2025.
We need to reveal that text, bro.
So the question: what happened? So the prosecutor's going to say he stabbed her to death, and here are these 2 wounds, and then you're going to have the defense coming out and saying, look, number one, you didn't say conclusively, you're saying may, and this is a reasonable doubt case. Number two, if it was so clear to you, why 4 months in were you still saying undetermined? So this is going to be a huge part of this case.
And also, I would think, maybe they'll say this, that it would get harder to find those wounds the more time passes. Like they found her body.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. Let's get to whatever trap might have to say, because at this point it's just a TMZ video.
I'll give you some reaction over on Reddit, okay? Because people are posting this. This is going crazy on Reddit. Everyone's been waiting for this. People saying, so he essentially stabbed her to death. I hope he rots in prison. Awful. Poor Celeste. R.I.P. People saying, are the lines on the legs cuts, or is that where the dismembering was? That is where that is. Okay.
They did say her body was in 2 bags, which that part's still confusing to me, because this autopsy is showing that like as if her body is still all together. You know what I'm saying? So that part is a little confusing to me, but her body was in 2 bags, so that I don't know.
Looks like a smooth edged blade of a knife wound. I can't read the lighting, but the lines look like where the limbs were cut off. So sad. So there's more. Okay. I've got a bunch.
That music video of his has her, or I can't even read. That music video of his has him stabbing her in the torso. This nigga did it, bro. Like, it's just like too many things you can connect, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
All the stuff I want to cover, but I want to keep that in a separate video for you guys. So this is more reaction. The medical examiner saying she died from 2 penetrating stab wounds, and the drugs and the alcohol didn't contribute to her death. They said the body was actually placed in the Tesla and it sat there for 4 entire months. So 2 missing fingers not cut off and with the body completely missing. So this R-word killer maggot cut her finger off with this tattoo that said David. So yes, left pinky and left ring finger. If this picture is her, if I recall correctly, that wasn't confirmed. You're directly looking at the 2 fingers that went missing. Now I'm going to tell you something crazy. It says this will finally debunk the OD, then murdered theories. It won't, though. Defense will find a medical expert who can start saying maybe the drugs in her system were the cause of death, maybe, and that could be enough to cast doubt on some jurors. It's going to be a battle between experts and high-powered rich people who have access to many of them. There's something that I'm really scared to show you guys that's coming up, honestly.
What?
Cause of death being multiple penetrating objects. Basically, there was a full statement, I believe. I'll read the statement to you in a minute. People saying, so it wasn't an instant death. Poor thing was suffering from bleeding out. All the while, David was more likely watching her bleed to death. What a sick and twisted monster. Okay, so this is the full statement from the medical examiner's office that was released. It says the County of LA Department of Medical Examiner determined the cause and manner of death for 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez as multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects. The manner of death is homicide. Miss Rivas Hernandez was discovered at 1100 hours on September the 8th, 2025 in the front trunk of a vehicle in a tow yard in Los Angeles, and the death was pronounced by a detective with the LAPD. A deputy medical examiner conducted an examination of Miss Rivas Hernandez on September the 10th, 2025 at the DME's Forensic Science Center. The cause and manner of death were determined all the way back on December the 9th, 2025, but a court order initiated by the LAPD previously prevented the DME from releasing its findings. I wonder if they did that, if the police blocked that because they were thinking David might try and hide the knife. He might be dumb enough that he still has the murder weapon on him, and let's not let him know it was a stab wound, so that he doesn't hide the knife, perhaps. Because after several months, I'm grateful this information can now be released not only to the public, but also to the grieving family enduring loss, said the chief medical examiner, Dr. Ode Ugpo. It's unfathomable that they have had to wait this long to learn what happened to their daughter. The transparency of the information contained in our findings and reports is essential for empowering the community to make informed changes to effectively reduce fear and allowing the community to take informed action. Now, that last statement is so important for all the people that keep saying, oh, all the Redditors are just posting all this information and all this nonsense and everybody just needs to stop being a detective. Well, actually, no. As the medical examiner says, they were upset that the LAPD kept this from the family, and they said this is needed to empower the community to make changes and reduce fear and take action. And I agree.
That's
facts. It's wrong to keep this secret for so long. They had this on December the 9th, months ago. Anyway,
it's crazy.
This post is going around on Reddit, and they're saying that David actually took Celeste's finger with the David tattoo on it on tour as a trophy. And here's
no way! No way!
And it links to a TikTok. I haven't watched this TikTok yet. I'm actually scared to even watch this, but let's see. Fucking hell. Is it? Please tell me this isn't what I think it is.
Wrapping up the one and only original Sakuna's finger from Jujutsu Kaisen. And yeah, we about to drink some tea with some local one-ups.
I know you lying, bro. I know you lying. I know you lying. I know you lying, bro.
It can't be. It can't be. I'm speechless. Could it possibly, could this really be it? So this was on August 2025, the 19th of August. I just can't believe what I'm seeing.
wrapping up the one and only original Sukuna's finger from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Bro.
And yeah, about to drink some tea, do some vocal warm-ups.
What the fuck?
Warm-ups.
Oh my god.
He keep going back.
Some tea, do some vocal warm-ups.
I'm over here pausing, like he not already pausing. Nah, that's crazy. If that
It says, yes, it's a prop. He showed clues all this time. It's not fan fiction, y'all. The whole premise of this finger is a dead person's finger. That character ate to get powers or something. This is one.
Even if that's not her finger, bro, like the fact that she doesn't have a finger now, the fact that her body doesn't have a finger and he used a prop finger. Like I said, there's too much things that are connecting this nigga to her, bro. Too many. If he don't get convicted, bro, I'm gonna be real with you guys. The justice system has failed every single one of us. Every single one of us should be fucking scared for our lives, bro. Because if something like this was happening to one of us, God forbid, or anybody we know, it's over with, bro. You gotta imagine this is somebody famous too, bro. So somebody like us regular people, bro, they're not giving two shits, bro. They gonna act like they care, but they're not gonna actually care, bro, to go this deep and find out, bro. Like that's this is wild, bro. Now this is crazy.
Posted this a few months back. I was told it was nothing. They're saying this is the finger he took. What is he doing with a cut finger prop?
Wow, bro.
So
This is something
like
else.
He's holding is a prop of Sukuna's finger from the anime series Jujutsu Kaisen. But if the autopsy is showing that two fingers are absent, it means he likely cut them off, especially because one of them had the David tattoo. So he might have gone around with that object to remind himself of that. What the actual fuck this man?
If the finger that says David is not on her body right now, that's her finger, bro.
Sick monster took her finger as a trophy. Let me look this up. Because if this is a thing that you can buy a Sukuna's finger prop. So it looks like this is a thing, right? You can buy a Sukuna's finger prop. It is a thing. They sell them. That does look like what David had. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that he's not posing with a real finger in this video.
Okay.
It looks like
You can actually buy it.
the
All
finger,
right.
the fake finger that was bought. But I do think that this is symbolism for what he really had going on.
Yeah.
I think the possibility that that's a real finger is low, but behind the scenes, it seemed like he kept a couple of fingers. So
That one in the middle definitely looks like the one he had,
context,
though. I'll
I don't
say
think
that.
that this is a real finger. I could be proven wrong. There's some backstory about this. I don't follow this anime. Okay, this is Jujutsu Kaisen fan page, basically. It says, does Sukuna's fingers only contain his soul and cursed energy, or do they also hold his powers too? It says, we know Sukuna was split into fingers in 20 numbers. My question is, Sukuna's fingers only contain his soul, and CE is also a distribution of overall of his power into 20 fingers. Does the power mean like his abilities? Yeah. Ugh. I don't even know where to. Bro, the idea that he was keeping the fingers is just despicable. Okay, and I'm
for
certain
real.
that's not a real finger in that video. I couldn't possibly imagine.
Listen, bro. We got new information on Celeste autopsy, bro. This video was kind of disturbing, bro. I'm gonna be real with you guys, man. Shout out to Trap for the video. Listen, y'all know, like I said, I'm gonna stay up to date with this. You know what I'm saying? This whole situation is fucking crazy, dog, bro. It's crazy, bro. Like, I just don't understand how sick as an individual you have to be to start from messing with somebody who's that much younger than you, bro. To start from there. Then to the point where that girl is going to expose you and you end up taking her out. Then you doing shit like cutting off her fingers? Where's her finger at, bro? Where's her finger at, bro? Like, when you end up officially getting cooked, because you are cooked. You are cooked, but David, you're cooked. But once you officially get put in that fucking cell for life, you need to tell us where her finger's at, bro. This is disgusting, man. This is sad, bro. Oh my gosh, man. I don't even have no words, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next, man. This wild.